Yo, what's up? So this is a dating one. Skip it if you want to. I'll catch you next time. Um, Let me start here. So I think most women are good. I do. I think, who knows? Some people probably think he's a misogynist or whatever. No, I think most women are good. I think just on the dating scene, I think the most toxic and caustic ones are the loudest. So then I think it kind of skews the perception of what's actually happening on the dating scene. And so I don't think the dating scene is as bad as it's portrayed. I know there's the whole gender war thing going on, but I don't think it's actually as bad as it's portrayed. So let me go, where am I going to go? When women say stuff like this, I'm just going to talk random stuff. When women say stuff like, you know, all men are a piece of shit. All men. Not some, not the ones I chose, but all men are a piece of shit and all men should be exterminated from the earth. Women will say this kind of stuff and no one cares. Are they canceled? No. They get a round of applause. You go, girl. Girl power. That's what happens. And what do guys say? Guys don't say anything. Guys just, okay, cool. Like, I'll stay out of it. If that's how you feel, then cool. I have no comments. That's how guys feel. Okay? And guys aren't saying that about women. You know, they just don't do that. First of all, because they don't think that. But second of all, they know their whole life would be canceled that day. You're fired from your job. You know, you're canceled, everything. So I just find it interesting that women can say whatever they want to about men and there's no repercussions other than you know, some of these women say, I cut my leg, that's why I have a sock on. Other than, my lady's gonna sew it up later on, other than they say, where are all the like amazing guys? They mean rich, handsome, tall, all of that. That's what they mean. They don't mean good. They mean like, where's the rich, super hot guys? You know, those guys know that content is out there. They know that, but they're not really paying attention to it because they don't have to. I'm talking about the Chads and the Tyrones, these kind of dudes, they don't have to pay attention to that stuff because they're up there, right? As far as they know their value is what I'm saying. So they know that's happening, but they just don't care. And then some of these women are like, where is that guy? If that guy's not an idiot, okay? Because he got himself to that place. So just like women do, anybody he's gonna possibly go out on a date with, he's gonna look up your socials and see like, how do you roll, you know? And if he sees you have 1,000 videos of talking shit on men and all men should die, and by the way, you know, if and when I find a rich guy, I'm gonna use him. Some women have said this exactly. I'm gonna use him and I hope he doesn't have, I'm only gonna date, you know, a lot of these chicks are very entitled and I'm only gonna, let me explain it all to you, man, you stupid idiots. I'm only gonna date men who are rich and handsome and tall as shit and, you know, must have a jet, must have a yacht and all this kind of nonsense. They've never dated a guy like this, ever. I'm gonna find that guy and I'm gonna use him and I hope he doesn't have any family dependents because I hope he dies soon so I get all his money. Women are saying this shit online and thinking that they're gonna land that guy. That guy will just be like, that is a hard pass. And some women say stuff like this. I spoke to this guy and he ghosted me didn't even give me a reason why. Stuff like that is why. Because those guys aren't idiots. And they're like, no, I know a lot of dudes who are very cool guys. So no, I know them. I'm not an idiot. I'm not just gonna believe that all men are pieces of shit just because you said that. I know plenty of amazing guys. Like me, I know a guy who's going out dating right now. And he's one of those guys. He's 6'4", uh, face privilege, not as good as me though, a little bit lower, but good. In shape, better than me, taller, in shape, and successful, right? Smart guy, funny, all this. Catch, super catch. But I've been coaching him through his dating and so forth. And nowadays guys will have a buddy who will do that. And we don't talk about like just, hey man, did you see the score of the game today when we're on the phone? And through his dating stuff, we talk like for hours about super in-depth stuff, man stuff. We see that here's the point here. Men don't share men hide their values and their vulnerabilities and all of that from women because they don't want women to use that against them. But when we're on the phone together, men, we talk about all that stuff. We're just not going to put it out into the universe. Men don't do videos where they're like, let me go online and cry and complain about the dating scene or stuff like this. Or just like how bad my day is and go cry, literally. No. We're like, I'll keep that in. I'll tell my best homeboy. That's all that gets to know this part of my life. That's it. But some of these, women who are trying to date, they'll put their whole life out there and wonder why a rich guy doesn't want them. That's why. Because you showed them exactly why it's a hard pass. And one thing see, shaming men is not going to see. I don't know if do those types, which is a very select few, I would guess, a very select few of women. Do they really believe that shaming men is going to somehow turn them into going for them? Let me shame these guys and tell them they're nothing. And you better do this and do that for me. And by the way, I'm the whole, this. If I quote shit like this, I've heard women say this. I've deep dove it for my homie because I know he's not going to watch this stuff, but I will. I'll listen to it in the background and tell him, like, look out for this shit. Here's what's going on in the dating world. I've heard women say that. Like, you're the whole cake, girl. You're the entire cake. He's just the cherry on top. That's all he is. He's just a thing to pay for you. Pay for your bags, pay for this, pay for that, and just be a servant to you. Chads and women will also say this. See this? I don't know who this video is more for. Is it more for dudes or women? I don't know. But Chads and Tyrones, one thing women do is they look at their beauty, so to speak, and think that's what's going to trap him. I'm going to get that Chad or that Tyrone. But here's the thing that women don't understand, apparently, based on the videos, is Chad and Tyrone, they're used to beautiful women. They are used to that. That's their baseline, in other words. So beauty is like, okay, like they're like every girl I've ever been with, it was beautiful. Like for real. Okay? Like was in a magazine, this kind of shit. Literally. You know what I mean? So that's not going to trap those guys. Those guys are like, no, I need a woman to, and their standards are really not that high, which is the bizarre thing is most men I just want a cool chick who, is pretty to me, beautiful enough to me, and doesn't cause me problems. That's it. That's basically the guy's list is I want peace, and like a cool chick. It's so simple. And women are like, where are all the good guys? They're right in front of you. And they're just sitting on the bench right now because they're just like, I don't need to deal with this. I don't have to, so I won't. That's what they're doing right now. So, this is kind of the stuff that gets a lot of like, you go girl, like the goal is joy. Those, women will say stuff like this. The goal is joy, mine only mine, not his. Like, I don't give a fuck how he feels. That's empowerment, ladies. See, let me go here real quick. I kind of wonder I know this is very controversial. I kind of wonder, is our relationships in the future, is that going to be seen as conservative? Like just a relationship. Like I have a try this for the ladies out there. Try this. I know there's no ladies watching this, but imagine for the homies. Imagine if a woman put on her social media, I love my guy. My guy is great. My boyfriend, my husband, whatever. She will get attacked from other women. Oh, just wait till he cheats on you. Just wait, you'll see. Those women don't post on social media. They're just like, I'm not going to engage with that, because why bother? Because they already know that they're going to get attacked. Not by men. Not by men. Men don't comment on that kind of stuff. Men are like, cool, good for you. Or the other way, if a man sees a man in a good relationship, they'll just say, hey, good for you, brother. And that's exactly what's in their brain. But they must be jealous though, right? No, they're just like, good for you, brother. That's it. That's all we think. It doesn't go beyond that. Where am I at time-wise? I should wrap this shit up. You hear, but that man needs to be an asset. See, and also I enjoy my solitude. Then why do a video about dating? I love my solitude, then why are you doing a video complaining about men? Just enjoy your solitude. Be in solitude. You know what I mean? Like, men don't do videos like that. Hey, I just want to tell everybody, like, by the way, I like being single. Just know that, ladies. I really enjoy my single life. Guys aren't doing those videos. Guys are just like, cool. I'm whatever. I'm chilling. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. They're not doing videos about like, I love being single. They're not. Why? Because it's a waste of their time. You also hear like, compromise is out of the question. That's an entire relationship. Okay, like anybody mature at all, I would assume would know that you're going to have to compromise something. You know what I mean? It's like doing a deal, just basic deal of any kind. It's going to go back and forth. Both of you are going to have to compromise on something. Okay, right? Like the person who's selling the thing wants the absolute top dollar for it, and the person who's buying it wants it for fucking free. So you're going to have to compromise, and now you have a deal. You know what I mean? Like, here's another thing. Men will laugh off disrespect when women disrespect them like that. They'll laugh it off so that they don't seem weak, because men don't generally like to look weak. But men are cataloging that. Just like my homeboy. And by the way, sidebar real quick, to anybody who's still watching this, what, I got one left or no one? His wife, this is the worst thing I ever heard anybody say to anybody, is you will never divorce me, you fucking pussy. I was just like, what? So she thought she had him. I trapped you. You can't do anything about it. And he got a divorce. He's like, I'll suffer through this until the kids get old enough. The second they're old enough to be out of the house, I'm out of here. And that's exactly what he did. And he didn't give a fuck about what it cost him. Not really. And that's the other thing too. Like, it cost him 50 grand. And he was like, I'm happy to give you half my shit. I'm not contesting anything. Take half our shit. Call it ours, whatever. We're married, right? So it's half yours. So take half. I don't give a fuck. Let's avoid, a super huge lawyer fee for no reason. And she's like, nope. I'm going to try to burn you down, motherfucker. So, you know, so guys like that now, the second time around, are never going to get married. Nope, never going to happen. Guarantee you. You know, and understand that if you know, like there's a lot of women who are late, you know, I'm way older than a lot of women, but there's a lot of women who are in their late 30s and so forth trying to find a husband, this kind of stuff, and trying to start a family from scratch when they're 38 years old. You know, that's pretty up there. You know, 37, you know, that kind of shit. But you know, men catalog that it's abuse. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, a lot of women assume that they got away with it. No, that guy was cataloging that the whole time. He never said a word about it. Never complained, nothing. But then one day he's just like, boom, out of the blue. Here, you're served. I'm out. You know what I mean? That's how guys do it. That's a tip, okay? I think I'm done. I'm gonna do another video. Women say, you know, there's that whole like restaurant thing going on. Like, I demand to be taken to a $300 restaurant. It's widely known. It's just so tropey at this point. But here, I'm gonna do a video on this where I have a quiz. And I would say to the woman, okay, you know what? You want to be taken on that dinner? I would avoid this woman from the get-go. I've never had a bad date. Never. Why? Because I was, you know, I would, you know, and I dated mostly online, and I would just field them from the get-go, and I could tell who was problematic, and I just wouldn't even talk to them. You know what I mean? And let me point this thing out real quick. Is the amount of what's different. One thing that's different now is the amount of women who go on their dating profiles and just lead with negativity. Know this, know that, know this, know this. You must be this, you must be that. I'm done with this, I'm done with that. Is way higher now. Back when I was dating, 11 years ago, that was very rare. It was very rare. But now it's kind of like the thing to do, apparently, trendy. You know what I mean? But the problem there for women is you're just alerting these guys. Any good guy, any guy who's used to dating quality women is gonna pass. You're just alerting the, you know, fucking dirtbags, whatever you want to call them, guys, that's what you're used to. That's your lane. Your standard is that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be complaining about it because you would have no idea how that works. You know, simple shit like this in dating, I find I'm flabbergasted that people don't, you know, women in particular, because I'm a guy, you know, so I dated women, that women don't see that's what you're telling a guy. I'm used to this, and that's my standard. So any guy beyond that, above that, or whatever you want to call it, is brand new to me. Okay? Like, anyway, the last thing I was going to say is quiz about, you know, a woman says, I demand to be taken out on a $300 date or what, you know, whatever. I would be like, pass, nope, bye. You know, first of all, however, if you want to play around with it, I would say, cool, take my quiz. If you pass this quiz, then I will take you to a actual 5-star restaurant, meaning Michelin star. You know what I mean? Not Ruth's Chris, okay? Like not a glorified like chain restaurant, like an actual 5-star restaurant. If you pass this test, I'll fucking take you there. But you gotta pass the test, okay? Honestly, that should go viral, I think. You know, someone else take it and make it go viral, please. And I guarantee you, most women who are demanding to be taken to the top tier restaurant, which is not even the top tier restaurant, won't pass it, won't pass the quiz. Okay, so I'm gonna do that quiz later. I'm just gonna have a quiz, restaurant quiz. If you can pass this shit, you know, like then guys should take you to those places. I'm out, peace, good luck in dating. You know, like I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to say like, both sides, hey man, like come together or our world's gonna fall apart. You know what I mean? Like we need a population. Like it's looking bleak And let me end with that, is I feel like people are thinking of dating now as if they will deny biology, meaning both sides, men and women, have that procreation gene. You know what I mean? Like we can pretend it's not there, but it is. You know, that's the main thing driving us, in my opinion. I'm no scientist, but in my opinion, I think that's the main thing driving us to relationships. And then secondary, we could get into a super esoteric conversation about that, but which we'll not do. But secondary, it's about like what do you want for your personal gain, you know, as a human being versus society and global and all that. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's as if people are, too many, not everyone, are like, no, I don't give a flying fuck about biology, and that's not real. You know, and it's like, it is. So, you know, whatever. I'm rambling. I would just say, I would just recommend just go out to date, you know, to have a good time. Like that's what should be on people's minds. Like let's go out and just have a good time, not how much money does this guy make, like 8,000, you know, bullet point list of all the things this guy has to be. Of course you're going to be disappointed. For women, of course you're going to be disappointed when you go out with this guy and he doesn't hit every aspect. And the irony there to me is this, which maybe should have been further up. I know guys that I could name qualities about them, like they're 5'9", you know, receding hairline, and their hairline and is gray too. Body not the best, you know, dad bod, this kind of stuff. I could keep going, blah 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 blah. However, they're a multi-millionaire. Then women are like, okay, never mind that whole list. Now he seems kind of like, ooh, maybe I should take a look, right? And great personality, you know, funny, this kind of stuff. But you start the list that way, and then women, my point there is women will, if you started the list that way, women would pass on this guy without even realizing that he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. I find that hilarious. Bye.